Hello ladies and gentlemen, in today's video I wanted to talk about HSR's sustain issues. Did the idea for this video come from me trying to tackle anomaly arbitration with Gallagher and getting completely slammed? No, that's your own imagination. Stop projecting onto me. So let's actually get into this discussion. The biggest issue with sustain issues in HSR is the fact that sustains are, sustains are probably the rarest role of character to release in this game. You'll get more sub DPSs, more AoE and third slot supports, way more DPSs than you ever will sustains, right? And this version has been the most annoying with how far away the sustains are. You see, at least in version 3 and version 2, although it was still common for sustains and them dropping to be rare, you had things like Avin's release in 2.1 alongside Acheron, and you also had things like Hyacine's release in 3.3 with Cypher, and she was the best in slot sustain for Cassie. These guys were at least released in the first half of the version. However, since Don Hung PT, there has been no sustain release. We are currently in 4.4, and even 4.5 doesn't have a sustain release. We are confident that the next sustain release is all the way in 4.6, over a year or a year exactly away from Don Hung PT. And I know what a lot of people are going to say, and I do agree. The last sustain they did give for free, and Huo is also given for free on this golden token. And if you really think about it, PT is also rerunning currently, and Hyacine reran a couple patches ago. However, the thing is, let's all be honest. Nobody wants to pull on half a version to an entire version old sustains, knowing damn well that if they wait 2 or 3 more patches, they are going to be able to actually see what it is that these new sustains a year later have to provide. Because let's all be honest, this is HSR, right? If this was Wuwa, people would still be recommending you pull SK, because yes, even though there's power creep, it's not significant enough to really care about all that much. But this, I need to stress again, is HSR. There is a high chance that Pearl, and if there's another upcoming sustain in this version, are significantly stronger as sustains in comparison to Hyacine, to Nova Huo, and as well as Don Hung PT. So with this being the case, you would usually rather take the hit of struggling against endgame content a little more for a few patches, knowing that it will lead to you being able to get that newest sustain and not having to have folded for a much older one who will probably age worse than this newer sustain, because once again, this is just how HSR works. If you are newer, then you are stronger, you are better, and you are going to last the player longer, right? Now, of course, you can go for vertical investment on some of your sustains. For example, E1 Hyacine gets even further increased sustain capability, and as well as more HP buffing, which leads to better synergy with characters like Robin SP, being able to increase her team-wide buffs for the team, and as well that E1 is great with Cassie and the synergy with Mono Rem and HP scalers in general. And then you have E2 Don Hung PT, it doubles his shields, doubles his dragons, doubles his dragon attack frequency, action advances the dragon, doubles the damage of it. It does a lot, right? So like you can do this, but we're talking about E1 Hyacine and E2 PT here. Especially if you're on a fresher account in this game, you might not have even necessarily gotten the free Don Hung, since I do believe it expired somewhere in early V4, right? And with this being the case, you are kind of stuck in a situation where it's like, would I really want to pull Don Hung and Hyacine currently, knowing these upcoming sustains are coming soon and likely going to be power creep? Obviously not, right? Obviously fucking not. So that's the predicament that I am in on this account. I did use my golden token for Huo, And I also got Donhung PT for free, but I haven't pulled any other sustain on this account, right? Because I didn't pull Mono Rem, so I didn't see any reason to get Hyacine. And there were multiple better investments to make for my Anoxa before going into Donhung Eidolons, so why would I spend them on Donhung Eidolons, especially in the current day when Pearl is close, right? My hope currently is that in the rumored ZZZ collab patch for HSR, they said that like we might possibly get Ellen and Astra. I'm just praying that Astra is a healer, right? So you have Pearl there. She's obviously the elation sustain. She might have some general use outside of that, but that's, you know, that remains to be seen. But there should be one more sustain, because this game has consistently released 2 new limited sustains per version since the inception of the game. There's no way they're only going to release one and call it a day over here. I feel like one of those ZZZ collab characters has to be a sustain, and the most likely one is Astra Yao in my opinion. I still think it makes way more sense for Ellen to remain a DPS, but Astra Yao perfectly fits in as a sustain. We already have 2 supports, the exact same fucking character, who sings and is a support for teams. We don't need a 3rd singing support, so just make her the 2nd slot sustain for this version and call it a day, right? Because at the end of the day, you need a new age healing character anyways for Emblade teams, since Emblade synergizes terribly with shielders, because this guy eventually gets down to like 1 HP, and then there's nothing you can do. He never follows up ever again, and he's just like sitting there like a brick, right? So yeah, that's kind of just a talk about me wanting HSR sustain release schedules to be a little more, you know, I don't know, spread out. Like, why are we waiting a year for a new sustain? What the what is going on here? It's absolutely beyond me why they decided to change the schedule this much, because if you guys would remember, Pearl was originally leaked to come out in like early version 4, like very early. I believe it was like 4.1 or 4.2 was when Pearl was originally scheduled to release by all the leakers. But after all the politics shit, Nihilux and Pearl basically went to the later half of this version, which is like, I mean, maybe it was because of politics, but why? You know, like, it has made people suffer so badly against the current day endgame content who haven't pulled Hyacine. Because if you haven't pulled Hyacine, then you're basically just stuck with fucking Donhung PT and what's his name? Woho Nova from the golden token, right? And this is assuming people actually used a golden token on Woho, because a lot of people probably have some Eidolon investment on their welt. Maybe they have like an E1 Robin. E2 Robin is a great pickup, right? A lot of people use their golden tokens already for Ruan Mei for the break team, as E1 Ruan Mei is pretty competitive to Fugue in these Firefly teams. And then you also have shit like what's it called? They're escaping me now. God damn it. Oh yeah, Welt Eidolon investment for his E2 and E4 to be more consistent with his energy gain and his res down buffing. So yeah, that's enough yap from me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'm struggling with a sustain. No, I didn't make this video because I was getting absolutely slammed in anomaly arbitration with Gallagher. Once again, you're projecting onto me. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace out.